the combat sports world is buzzing with controversy after Joe Rogan dropped a bombshell demand for Muro John Akhmadaliev to withdraw from his scheduled fight against Inoue with the legendary UFC commentator, issuing a chilling warning that has divided the boxing community. Known for his unfiltered analysis, Rogan didn't hold back during a recent podcast episode. His normally enthusiastic demeanor replaced by grave concern as he labeled the September matchup career suicide for Akhmadaliev and potentially life-altering given Inoue's frightening knockout power. This unprecedented intervention from one of combat sports' most respected voices has sparked fiery debates about fighter safety, competitive integrity, and whether some matchups are too dangerous to sanction, forcing the boxing world to confront uncomfortable truths about the sport's inherent risks. Rogan's dire warning comes backed by terrifying statistics that paint Inoue as perhaps the most destructive force in boxing today. The monster boasts a perfect 27-0 record, with 24 knockouts, having demolished his last 6 world-class opponents in under 5 combined rounds, a stretch of dominance that includes frighteningly one-sided destructions of elite fighters like Stephen Fulton and Marlon Topples. What makes Rogan's assessment particularly compelling is the direct comparison between Akhmadaliev and Topples, with the USA's fighter coming off a controversial loss to the same boxer that Inoue casually dismantled in just 2 rounds earlier this year. Rogan emphasized his voice, uncharacteristically solemn. The evidence is overwhelming. Inoue needed less than 6 minutes to destroy the man who just beat Akhmadaliev over 12 rounds. This isn't a competitive fight. It's a lamb being led to slaughter against arguably the most dangerous pound-for-pound fighter alive. Akhmadaliev's camp has fired back at Rogan with predictable defiance. But behind the scenes, whispers suggest even his team shares some concerns about the matchup. Head coach Antonio Diaz publicly dismissed Rogan's comments as disrespectful fear-mongering, insisting they've spent 6 months crafting a specialized game plan for a new, unique offensive arsenal. However, ESPN sources reveal troubling reports from training camp where multiple southpaw sparring partners brought in to mimic Inoue's style have failed to approximate the Japanese star's blinding speed and concussive power, confessed one insider, painting a concerning picture of their preparation. MJ's eating clean shots and sparring that no one expected. There's growing anxiety they might survive a few rounds, but no clear path to victory has emerged despite months of study. This stark reality lends credibility to Rogan's warning that Akhmadaliev may be risking more than just another loss. In's chilling response to the controversy perfectly encapsulated why he's considered boxing's most terrifying force. When asked about Rogan's comments during a Tokyo press conference, the monster delivered a characteristically calm yet bone-chilling statement. Inoue said through his translator, his expression eerily unchanged. Mr. Rogan is entitled to his opinion, but the ring judges fighters, not podcasters. If Akhmadaliev believes in himself, he'll show up September 3rd. If not, his deliberate, trailing silence spoke volumes, leaving unstated the implication that withdrawal would confirm everything about the perceived mismatch. Promoter Bob Arum added fuel to the fire by revealing disturbing details about Inoue's training camp, where the Japanese star has been routinely knocking out heavier sparring partners. We mandated extra headgear because the power he's generating isn't normal for his weight class. It's frankly terrifying to witness. Medical experts are sounding alarm bells that lend scientific credence to Rogan's emotional warning. A renowned neurologist specializing in combat sports injuries provided The Athletic with sobering analysis about the specific dangers Akhmadaliev faces. Inoue generates fist forces comparable to a small car crash upon impact. When you combine that with Akhmadaliev's aggressive style and the punishment he absorbed in his recent war with Tapali, the risk factors multiply exponentially. The doctor emphasized that fighters facing extreme power punchers like Inoue should undergo additional neurological testing beyond standard protocols. Former 2. Division champion Timothy Bradley Jr., no stranger to brutal fights himself, echoed Rogan's concern. I took dangerous bouts throughout my career, but this Inoue exists on another plane. MJ's toughness could be his downfall against a man who can end things with any single punch. The boxing world has erupted in polarized debate over Rogan's unprecedented intervention. Heavyweight contender Jared Anderson led the charge against the comments, calling them, quote, completely out of line, while Hall of Famer Roy Jones Jr. surprisingly agreed with Rogan's assessment. Social media exploded with hashtag #ProtectMJ trending worldwide, though Akhmadaliev stoked the fires with a cryptic Instagram post showing Buster Douglas's legendary upset over Mike Tyson captioned, experts said the same thing. This subtle defiance suggests the uses may be using Rogan's comments as motivation, though boxing historians note such upsets remain extraordinarily rare against technicians as precise as Inoue. The controversy has forced the sport to confront uncomfortable questions about when competitive spirit crosses into unnecessary risk. At its core, this controversy exposes boxing's eternal ethical dilemma, balancing the warrior ethos with modern understanding of brain trauma. Rogan's warning, informed by decades witnessing MMA's neurological toll, reflects growing concern that the pursuit of spectacular knockouts has overshadowed athlete safety, with betting odds ballooning to 12-1 for Inoue. Even odds makers tacitly agree with Rogan's grim prognosis about the mismatch. The debate raises fundamental questions about responsibility in combat sports. When do promoters, commissions, and commentators have a duty to intervene? While boxing romanticizes giant killing moments, contemporary sports science has made the potential cost of such mismatches increasingly difficult to ignore. Akhmadaliev's team maintains they've identified subtle vulnerabilities in Inoue's seemingly impenetrable armor through exhaustive film analysis, but the boxing world remains deeply skeptical about whether any technical adjustments can bridge the cavernous gap between these two fighters. Their purported game plan hinges on exploiting Inoue's rare